From the press box atop Dolphin Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's soccer coverage live on the ECC network. Today's matchup features the Lightning of Goldey-Beacom College taking on the Dolphins of the College of Staten Island. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Foreman, and following kickoff today, I will be joined by Nick Durst, bringing you all of the action during today's matchup, a non-conference matchup between the College of Staten Island and Goldey-Beacom College. Of course, the College of Staten Island, members of the East Coast Conference, and the Lightning are members of the Central Atlantic Collegiate Conference. The Dolphins come into today's matchup with a record of 2-8 on the season. That includes a 1-3 mark in the ECC. And last time we saw the Dolphins take the pitch here at home, it was in a conference matchup back on Saturday against Roberts Wesleyan College. The Dolphins fell behind in that match 1-0, but got even on a goal from Nadia Evola, who becomes the first Dolphin to score more than once this season. Unfortunately for CSI, that would be the only goal they would register in the match. They fall 3-1 after a pair of unanswered goals in the second half by the Red Hawks. As for the Lightning, as I mentioned, they come in with a record of 3-5, a 2-3 mark in conference. And in their last match, they took on Caldwell, also a match played on Saturday, and they picked up a 2-1 overtime victory. That match was the last of 5 consecutive conference matches for the Lightning. Those 5 matches account for all of their conference matches this season played to this point, and in those matches, they went 2-3, including a victory on Saturday in overtime, as I mentioned, a 4-3 defeat at the hands of Wilmington, a 3-0 victory over Post, a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Holy Family, and a 2-1 overtime defeat against Chestnut Hill. And as of the time we are coming on the air, it is approximately 2:51 right now. From what I was told, we were one official short of getting this match underway. I'm not sure if that has changed during the last few minutes, but introductions of starting lineups has not yet begun here at the College of Staten Island, and we are still awaiting those introductions along with the playing of the national anthem. And taking a look towards the sidelines, I do see 2 officials lined up underneath the trainer's tent at midfield. So we have at least 2 referees on site. And from my understanding of what we've done in this situation in the past, we were able to get the match underway with 2 officials. I'm not sure if that will be the case here this afternoon. So I'll keep you posted over the next few minutes with the status of today's match and when we are getting underway. But I do see my broadcast partner, Nick Durst, making his way up to the booth. So I'll be joined by Nick in just a couple of minutes. But while we await the introduction of starting lineups on the field, I will provide the starting lineups for both teams ahead of this match, beginning first with the visiting Lightning of Goldey-Beacom College. In numerical order, the starters for the Lightning are as follows. Number 1, Noelle Talbot. Number 2, Milena Immediato. Number 4, Kelly Mejia. Number 8, Taylor Owen. Number 9, Kiera Young. Number 11, Alexa Pacheco. Number 18, Alyssa Ruggieri. Number 19, Lene Christofferson. Number 22, Alex Lowry. Number 26, Alyssa Patola. And number 29, Buzzy Sukaya. For the College of Staten Island in numerical order, their starters are as follows. 0, Ariel Solomon. 00, Sarah Villacrest. She will be in goal. Number 4, Emily Albano. Number 6, Colleen Rodriguez. Number 10, Danny Duca. Number 12, Bettine Voigt-Penson. Number 15, Sofia Espada. Number 17, Angie Galan. Number 19, Jenna Como. Number 24, Mersada Pelinkovic. And number 27, Megan Marr. Still no announcements coming from the room to my left. I still only see 2 officials gathered at midfield, and here comes the third. So it looks like we'll be set to get underway in just a couple of minutes. Until then, I will step aside and we will take a quick break. We will rejoin you here on the ECC network following the playing of the national anthem and introduction of starting lineups here from the College of Staten Island. Coming up next, Dolphins and Lightning on the ECC network.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America in your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at It's On Us.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
And we're back here on the ECC Network. Joe Foreman joining you alongside Nick Durst. Nick, welcome back to the booth for the second time this season. Dolphins about to get underway against the Goldey-Beacom College Lightning. And Nick, of course, welcome back to the broadcast.
Joe, I'm excited to be back, and it's a crucial game here for CSI. Very much better here at home. Cinderella is on record for having been kicked off the football team. The reason is she kept running away from the ball, and that might be a bit of an issue here for the Dolphins this season because the goal differential is extreme. They've allowed 37 goals. They've only scored 7. They're averaging less than a goal per game, giving up almost 4 goals per game. and they're just not getting enough shots, to be honest with you, Joe, in my opinion. They're averaging about 5 shots per game, giving up around 18 per game, and it's just very tough to win when you're being outshot by such extreme numbers.
And in terms of shot taking and shot making, there has been an uptick in the attacking play for the College of Staten Island over the last 3 matches, dating back to their conference matchup against Queens College back on September 25th. In that match, the Dolphins scored a pair of goals, though they did ultimately drop that match 4-2. They picked up a 2-goal victory over Lincoln College on Wednesday, September 29th. That 2-0 victory made it 2 goals in back-to-back games, and they also scored a goal on Saturday against Roberts Wesleyan. So 5 goals in the last 3 matches for the College of Staten Island. And you mentioned their lack of shot attempts against Queens in that match. Only 3 shots for CSI, 2 of those finding the back of the net. A much better showing on Wednesday the 29th against Lincoln. That match 1 week ago, CSI outshot Lincoln 19-0, 13-0 in shots on goal. And then once again against Roberts Wesleyan, the Dolphins with double-digit shots. They put 10 shots toward goal, only 3 on goal. 1 of those found the back of the net. They were outshot 20-10. So more shots for the Dolphins, not enough in 2 of their last 3 matches.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And for the Lightning, they're coming off an emotionally charged 2-1 overtime win against Caldwell on October 2nd. They were trailing 1-0 at the half, came back to win that game. So they're looking to keep the good times rolling here as the game is underway.
Dolphins and Lightning from the College of Staten Island, and fans of CSI Athletics very familiar with the Lightning as a mascot. Former CUNYAC members, the College of Staten Island, often playing Lehman College, another school, with the Lightning as their mascot. And these uniforms also a bit reminiscent of those Lehman kits as well. And early in this one, the ball played up ahead toward Solomon, but diving toward the top of the box was Talbot to retrieve it first.
Talbot did not want to take any chances there of getting the ball put into the box, dives on it, and clears it here.
Dolphins looking to maintain possession along the back line. They cannot. This is Christofferson with it, and she tried to send that one through up towards Mediato, but intercepting and getting a body on it was Marr, and the ball is ultimately cleared over the near sideline for a Dolphins throw-in. Pelinkovich throws, and Solomon giving chase, forcing Mejia to retreat. Duca intercepts her pass. Now Voight Penson has it taken away, but it's off the body of Marr once again. Marr sends one up to Espada along the far sideline. It's onto her foot. Now Como. Back over to Espada. Espada moving forward along the far sideline, looking for Solomon. And she runs out of real estate, and that ball travels over the touchline.
So our first goal kick here. Dolphins coming out the aggressor in this one, which is certainly something you like to see.
Dolphins have been better with their time of possession and the pressure they've put on the opposition with their attacking play over the last 3 matches, as I just mentioned before we got started. But unfortunately, that's only yielded them 1 victory in their last 3 matches. And ultimately, if you don't win the match, you can only take so much improvement from it. As that one sent up toward Pelinkovich. Pelinkovich may have had Rodriguez with a lot of space in the middle. Instead, she sent it toward Voight Penson, and now the 2 teams battle for possession in the Lightning zone. That one is sent up to Ruggieri, the leading goal scorer for the Lightning, and she beats her marker working against Galan. Ruggieri moves in, running out of space, looks to cross, now works toward the middle of the box, and that shot is off the outside of the net.
Great job there, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and tumbling to the net, but off the side there. Good try there by the Lightning.
I mentioned Ruggieri, the leading goal scorer for Goldey-Beacom College. She has 3 goals on the season to go along with a trio of assists. 9 total points. She's also the leading shot taker for this Lightning team with 16. 81% of those on target as Como finds Espada, but the ball trickles past her toward the far sideline. She's met by Pacheco, who retreats a few strides and gives it up to Patullo. Patullo for Young. Pelinkovich comes over with a challenge, but backs off, and the Lightning continue to move in reverse. Sequoia sends it back to her keeper, and Talbot will send it out across midfield. Bad bounce there. It winds up with Christofferson, and now she plays Ruggieri up ahead toward the far sideline. Ruggieri beats Galan once again. A good move, working into the box, and that shot is saved by Villacrez.
What a job there by Villacrest. It may be Halloween season, but on that, it was all focus, no hocus pocus as she makes the save.
And she is wearing an orange kit. Right time of year for that, with Halloween fast approaching. We still have about 3 weeks to go until then.
And our referees are very festive as well, as those of you watching could see the orange kits that they are wearing.
Some colorful color commentary from Nick Durst. We always look forward to it every time Nick has the call alongside me here on CSI Sportsnet, now, of course, a proud part of the ECC network. And it will be a Dolphins goal kick upcoming as we are just over 4 minutes into this first half. That's Albano back to her keeper, Villacrest, and closing in quickly was Christofferson, and that forces Villacrest to send it over the far sideline.
Pace of play here off to a rapid start here in the first 5 minutes.
We've seen opportunities for both sides. The best chance belonging to the Lightning as looking to turn is Immediato, and the Dolphins able to take the ball away. Now moving forward on the attack, this is Pelinkovic looking to work past Lowry. She sends that one up ahead toward Duca, and clearing it away is Mejia, but waiting for it was Rodriguez. Rodriguez back to Albano. Albano working against Christofferson, looking for somewhere to go with it. And that's a very poor ball, and fortunately for the Dolphins, stumbling there was Ruggieri.
Very lucky there for the Dolphins that Ruggieri falls down.
There's a good ball towards Solomon, but a bit too strong from Duca as the Dolphins nearly turned what was almost a disastrous play into a scoring chance. That's punted out toward the midfield stripe off the body of Immediato. That's Como sending it back to Galan. Galan up to Espada. Espada for Solomon. Solomon pressured toward the far sideline. Getting a foot on it was Sequoia, and the Lightning do come away with it. Immediato for Patola. And that ball off target. It will roll all the way up the pitch, and it looks like the Dolphins will be okay with taking a goal kick, as that one is just inside the corner flag.
That ball went to the field there from the kick. Don't see that too often.
Sal Caruso is watching as he chimes in, and after I made a comment on the orange kits, he reminded me that I needed to acknowledge last night's performance by the New York Knicks, the orange and blue New York basketball team, getting the preseason off to a good start last night.
Yes, and let's acknowledge the New York Yankees for ending their season.
Yes, let's, as I'm sure that may upset about 50% of our viewer base, but they'll have to just take it. At this point, their season is over, and I can't say I'm upset. As Pelinkovic sends one up towards Solomon, it is right on target. I'm not even sure that was her intent, but Solomon moving forward finds Duca trailing. Now Duca looking to send it toward the middle of the pitch. She does. Como is there waiting. Como looking to move into the attacking third. She does. Finds Duca. Duca sends one toward goal, but that's well wide.
Nice try there for the Dolphins. Duca seemed to earlier have a chance to take it towards the net, but she did play it back to the middle of the pitch, and ultimately no open space there for her, and kicks it wide. Talbot
will take the goal kick after that one travels over the touchline. And she sends it toward midfield, a bit short of the midfield stripe, headed up in the air. Along the far sideline, Goldey-Beacom has it. Stumbling over the ball for a moment there was Young, and that forces her to send it back. This is Sequoia. And now the Lightning crossing into the attacking third. That was Pacheco who was dispossessed, but the attack will resume almost immediately until Espada comes in and wins the ball back for CSI, and she sends it off of a Goldey-Beacom player, and the Dolphins will throw. Galan with a poor pass there, and that one sent towards Christofferson, but it's taken away by Rodriguez. Rodriguez for Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic to Duca, and they tried the give and go there. It was broken up initially, and that ball just a bit too long for Pelinkovic. That one headed across midfield and punted back the other way by the Lightning. And this one rolling into a dangerous position as Ruggieri is trying to chase it down against Galan, but Galan able to get a foot on it first. Here comes Espada moving towards midfield. Voigt Penson sends it right back to Espada, who looked to play Solomon over the top. And that one rolls into the outstretched arms of Talbot.
It's very clear here what the Lightning strategy is, and that is to get the ball to Ruggieri. And we already saw her have 2 chances to take the ball to the net in this game.
And why not? She's done a good job working against Galan on that wing and nearly came up with a shot on goal earlier in the match. Did come up with one just a few minutes later. As she may get another chance here working against Galan. She moves into the box. 4 Dolphins surrounding her. And that was too much as CSI able to stifle that attacking play in a very dangerous position.
Good job by CSI there to close the door there. No space there for Ruggieri.
Lightning working towards midfield. That was Lowry sending it forward to Ruggieri. Now this is Immediato. Owen to the top of the box. Looking to turn with it was Christofferson, but she's being forced to retreat and sends it back to the perimeter of the midfield circle. That one sent toward the top of the box and off the head of Ruggieri into the arms of Villacres. Albano for Pelinkovic. Sent up ahead. Duca the closest Dolphin, but once again, the ball just sent too far for any attacking play to come of it, and it will be another goal kick for the Lightning.
Dolphins are definitely doing a good job here controlling the midfield, certainly getting the ball more towards their offensive striking zone, but a lot of these passes here have just been a little too far out of reach of the strikers.
And you're right about that, Nick. The Dolphins have done good work in the midfield to this point, but as you said, the ball that would spring them onto the attack has just been too long on more than one occasion already in this first half, and we saw it bring that last attacking play to an end. CSI trying to reverse their fortunes here as that one is on target for Ruggieri. Villacres not in great position as she was forced back onto her heels, but Galan was able to win possession back for a moment. Good tackle by Albano to keep possession with CSI. Pelinkovic for Duca, and here come the Dolphins as Pelinkovic receives the pass from Duca, and she was looking for Solomon, but that one behind the Dolphins striker and into the arms of Talbot. That ball sent out toward midfield and headed toward the back line of CSI. Galan for Voigt Penson, and it's sent a long way by Mejia. Waiting for it is Ruggieri. Her shot is over the crossbar just high.
Couldn't quite get control of that one. If she had a moment there to stop the ball and play it off her foot, pretty sure that ball would have been in the back of the net, but lucky for CSI, she cannot control it, and the shot goes high.
A good ball to set up Ruggieri with plenty of space to work with, and there is almost no way that Villacres would have been able to make that save if that shot had been on target. Fortunately for her and CSI, that ball sailed just over the crossbar, and we remain in a scoreless tie with 32-35 to go in the first half.
We'll see if the Dolphins make any adjustments here, because it's very obvious, as we mentioned earlier, Ruggieri, that's their goal scorer, and they keep trying to get it to her, and she's making things happen.
And there's a good redirection, but fortunately, Immediato could not handle it cleanly. Owen was the one who set her up with a light touch, and it nearly sent her into the box without a marker to work against, but there's a poor pass that will give Goldey-Beacom another chance on the attack.
Crucial throw in here for the Light.
Young will take the throw. That was Immediato, and she was instantly met by a pair of Dolphins, Pelinkovic and Galan. CSI will throw. Solomon receives the throw from Pelinkovic and is able to keep the ball in, but That affords the Lightning another opportunity as that one nearly found the foot of Ruggieri, and a good effort to try and chase it down, but she's unable to get there.
Ruggieri really turned on the Jets there. First, it seems like she wasn't committed to going after that one. Great late effort there, but she could not stop the ball from going out of bounds.
Dolphins now throwing along the far sideline. Albano sends it toward midfield and finds Solomon, who heads it towards Duca. Back to Espada. And that one is headed up in the air by Lowry. But it does come down on the foot of Espada. And there's a nice move dribbling to beat her marker for just a moment. She plays Duca through, but in good position was Mejia, and the whistle will blow. Was it advantage Dolphins? I believe it was. And it will be a foul against the Lightning.
Fortunate break here for the Dolphins, who it appeared were about to lose possession.
Lightning head coach Dan Frick didn't like it.
Well, you know what they say, Joe. Actions speak louder than coaches.
Trying to listen in as Frick was upset that the referee allowed the through ball.
Well, I can tell you this, Joe. I am pretty good at lip reading, and he is not praying right now. He's not very happy.
To put it mildly, as that one is sent into the box, knocked away by Goldey-Beacom, and Voigt Penson, the first Dolphin to arrive at the ball, and that is enough to keep possession with CSI. There's a good ball, but Albano in better position as Ruggieri was trying to run it down. This is Villacres for Marr. And Galan forfeits possession to Goldey-Beacom, and that ball up in the air. Anyone's ball on the way down, and getting ahead on it was Como. This is Voigt Penson. Back to Galan. And over to Como. Como up to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez with a weak pass. It is intercepted by Pacheco. Ruggieri has it. The Dolphins converging. She gives it up to Pacheco. Pacheco perhaps with a chance to cross. That ball is into the middle of the box. Galan bodies one Goldey-Beacom player off the ball, and another sends a shot on goal. I believe that was Ruggieri again with the shot.
Just another wide shot there, but Ruggieri's definitely been trouble so far today for the Dolphins, and they're going to have to contain her because it seems at this moment it's only a matter of time before she gets another shot on goal.
Well, I'm going to have a talk with our statistician, as all of the shots for Goldey-Beacom have been credited to Christofferson, so I'm going to have to step off the mic in just a couple of minutes and get that changed. But it's Ruggieri who has attempted every shot so far for Goldey-Beacom. Once there's a lull in the action, I'll step aside and get that fixed, as I am following the live stats alongside our broadcast.
Looks like Melanie Mediato is pretty shaken up after a little collision there. And we're going to have a stoppage here. So we'll see here what the ruling is here. If she's going to come out. But she just seems to be shaken up. I think, Joe, that she just had the wind knocked out of her with the collision.
And hopefully that is the case as the action resumes quickly. The clock was stopped at an even 28 minutes. As Marr sends it up to Rodriguez, and Duca got a foot on it, but Sequoia sends it back to her keeper for Goldey-Beacom, and the Lightning will reset. As that ball is sent out toward midfield, chipped up in the air, and an attacking opportunity here is waved off on the offsides flag. Pelinkovic. Back to Galan. Galan to Marr. This is Albano. That's Rodriguez sending it toward Espada. She was met by Pacheco, but got it to Voigt Penson, who sent it up in the air, and now Duca fights for possession. Voigt Penson toward Pelinkovic. It's headed away by Young. Voight Penson working against Lowry now as the ball finds Espada along the far sideline. And Espada is able to keep possession with CSI as she battled along the far sideline.
Duca has been tremendous the last 15 minutes here for the Dolphins. All sides of the field getting heavily involved in the action.
Ball sent right back across midfield, and Dolphins unable to make anything off of that throw in the attacking third. Will reset with Villacrez. Villacrez for Marr. Marr to Albano. And that one is sent toward the attacking third for the Lightning, and they scramble to keep possession on their side. They do. And there's an attacking play developing here down the wing as Albano is beaten into the box, but that stab at the ball was just enough to break up the attacking play, though. CSI will concede the corner kick.
First corner kick of the game here. We will see if the Lightning are able to capitalize. And Immediato's going to take the kick.
Immediato's corner in traffic, and nothing comes of that corner as there were no fewer than 7 or 8 bodies over that ball. And CSI is able to clear as that one goes straight through the legs of Pelinkovic, and that was nearly a bad break for CSI as Galan sends that ball off of Owen. It'll be a Dolphins throw. As that's sent up in the air off of the deflection, and Galan and Pelinkovic were waiting for it to come down. And a foul was called against CSI.
So a free kick here from Kiara Young. Nobody by her, so she'll be kicking this one across the field.
There is a conversation going on between the head official and the coaches along the sideline, but the whistle blows. Play will resume. That one is sent into the box and into a dangerous position. Tough angle, and the shot is saved by Villacrez.
Villacrez standing tall again, getting both hands on that one and putting out the fire there from the Lightning.
That was Taylor Owen who shot it from a tough angle, but that shot on goal, and Villacrez there to save it. As the horn will sound, we will have a pair of substitutions. It will be Lexi Coppola and Angela Lee entering the game for Goldey-Beacom.
Well, the Lightning like to keep their players fresh so they can be lightning quick, so they're going here with the first substitutions of the game, and we'll see if the Dolphins are going to follow.
Ball with Goldey-Beacom and sent up ahead. That's a good ball. Ruggieri on sides. Had to wait for it. Albano closing, but not in time as the leading goal scorer for Goldey-Beacom strikes again. Alyssa Ruggieri puts one by Sarah Villacrez, with the pursuing Albano just a bit too late to get there and prevent the shot. The Lightning now lead 1-0.
Dipsy-do scoreroo there, Ruggiero. Impressive footwork to get control of that ball and ultimately buries it in the back of the net.
That will prompt a pair of Dolphin substitutions with the stoppage. Nadia Evola and Isabella Castro check in for the College of Staten Island. Galan got a foot on it, but was immediately dispossessed by the recently checked-in Lee. Another chance developing for the Lightning as Ruggieri tried to send it forward. And, Nick, I think with that last one, you took the award for the most colorful goal call of the season on the follow-up to that Ruggieri goal. That one, number 4 for the leading Goldey-Beacom goal scorer, and it puts our team ahead 1-0.
Yeah, and Joe, you could just kind of see that coming. It was a storyline so far throughout the first half. I believe she had 4 attempts at shots, not all on goal. And it was just a matter of time before she was going to control one and get it into the back of the net.
Dolphins possess it along the far sideline, and that was deflected out of play by Goldey-Beacom, throwing up coming for the Dolphins.
And the Dolphins here better bring strings so they can tie the game. You don't want to get too far behind in this one, especially with the success you've had here at home and the way they've played in the first half here, where they have had some good opportunities, but nothing to show for it at this point.
Well, we saw the Dolphins get the game even just 4 days ago on Saturday against Roberts Wesleyan, but after that, it was 2 unanswered goals by the Redhawks on their way to a 3-1 victory. Ball now in the midfield with the Lightning moving forward on the attack, and Como had that one hit her in the back of the head. And that one sails wide of goal, but it deflected off the back of Como's head. And nearly sprung the Lightning forward on the attack once again. Poor pass there by the Dolphins, nearly created a chance.
Lightning coach Dan Frick here, very animated on the sideline, not content with the way his team is playing despite the 1-0 lead.
Frick's team now moving into the attacking third. That one sent up ahead. A good ball. Albano able to knock it down and ensure that nothing came of that attacking opportunity, but another good ball by the Lightning, and there have been many of those sent toward the top of the box so far in this match. Galan toward Pelinkovic, and it's sent over the near sideline. Throw in by Galan to Pelinkovic. That's chipped up in the air. Como was the first Dolphin to arrive at the ball, but instead it's on the foot of Coppola. And that one rolling toward Villacrest, who will dive on top of it.
Villacrest taking no chances. They're diving for that one. Lightning, when they've gotten inside the box, they've made it count. 5 shots on goal here to the Dolphins 0.
Galan goes down, and a foul was called on the play against Kiera Young along that near sideline. Marr to Galan. And it winds up back on the foot of Villacrest. Castro to Albano as we tick inside of 20 minutes to play in the first half. Dangerous spot there that Marr found herself in, and the ball rolls onto the foot of Galan. Not a good pass there in front of their own goalkeeper, and bearing down was Coppola, who nearly took it away from Villacrest.
Good job there by Villacrest to at least make some contact there, and Lightning unable to get a shot off. Could have been very dangerous there for the Dolphins.
Lightning once again moving into the attacking third. That one is blocked in the box. Ball now with Rodriguez. Up to Duca. And once again, it finds the keeper, Talbot, as the Dolphins really haven't had many chances around the box. And CSI still looking for their first shot of the game.
Yes, and as we mentioned before, the midfield play has been fine, but they just haven't been able to convert on any chances to get into the box here and put any shots on goal.
I think something else that's been alarming is some of the passes that the Dolphins have made around their own goalkeeper. And we've seen some dangerous balls right in front of the box, and in some cases halfway into the box. As we'll have 3 more substitutions coming on. 1 for the Dolphins, it will be Natalie Benitez. And for the Lightning, it will be Jenna Campagna. And Campagna will be joined on the pitch by Paula Marcall.
Yes, and on top of the scary play in the box for the Dolphins, Ruggieri has been scary for the Dolphins as well. She's been making a tremendous impact on the game on every single offensive possession, it seems, for the Lightning, and of course she did have the goal.
She sure has struck fear into this Dolphins team so far, as whenever she gets the ball on her foot in a scoring position, it has forced CSI to scramble and make sure that they do not allow her another chance. And they may not be able to deny the chance here, as Coppola has a step on the Dolphins' back line, and she did get it by the keeper, Villacrest, but not on target, and the Dolphins survive yet another goal-scoring scare.
Just a bit outside there as that ball goes to the right of the net, and very fortunate there for the Dolphins that that ball did not end up in the back of the net.
Just a bit outside is more than enough for this Dolphins team, as they are clinging on to a one-goal deficit right now. It certainly could be more, as the Dolphins are looking for their first shot. But this game now moving inside of 17 minutes to play in the first half, as Albano sends one up the pitch, but waiting for it was Young. This is Marr over to Pelinkovic, who beats one challenge, but is forced to send it back to Marr. Now Villacrest, who's being pursued by Campagna, and that is Marr looking for Como. The pass was intercepted, kept in by the Lightning. Good job there by Immediato. And Evola ultimately comes away with it for Staten Island, but once again forced to send it right back to her keeper.
Yeah, it seems like Villacrest is getting as many balls kicked her way from her own team in this game as she is the opposition.
That's a great point. The Dolphins have really been on the defensive since the opening minutes. And the whistle blows, and it will be a foul against Staten Island. So another free kick for the Lightning with 15:42 to go in half number one. This is Young. That's off the body of Benitez and over the near sideline. Throw in for Goldey-Beacom. Here comes Immediato. Does not meet a challenge, and it's too late, as that one is through the legs of Villacrest and in. Lexi Coppola off of the Lightning free kick. Immediately, Goldey-Beacom moving forward on the attack, wasting no time as they put one through the 5-hole of the Dolphins goalkeeper, and the Lightning now have a 2-0 lead.
Coppola there, she eyed it, she tried it, and she buyed it, and that ball is in the back of the net. Dolphins here being outshot 7-0, and just a matter of time for the Lightning to put the points on the board. As we mentioned earlier in the pregame, coming into today, the Dolphins were outscored 37-7 on the season, and they're allowing almost 18 shots per game, which is not ideal if you're trying to win these close games.
That is Evola sending it up toward Castro, and it rolls over the far sideline. It'll be a Lightning throw. Pressure has been firmly upon the Dolphins' defense this entire match. Then free kick sets up the throw, and off of the throw, the Lightning move right into the box and score the game's second goal. Trying to get a look at the assist on the goal. It was Coppola who scored it. See if we have it on the official stats. And the assist went to Immediato.
Immediato has made quite the impact in this game ever since apparently getting the wind knocked out of her earlier and getting hurt, but ever since then she got back up and has been heavily involved in the action.
There's an ill-advised shove by Rodriguez. And once again, it will be a free kick for the Lightning. Comohendo backs up off the ball just a bit. Pacheco is taking the free kick. That's sent toward the top of the box. Getting a foot on it was Albano. Galan sends it out toward midfield. Ball was knocked down in flight, and Como's attempted pass to Benitez is off target and over the near sideline.
So 13 and a half minutes here left in this first half, Joe. What do you think is the form and formula to success here for the Dolphins to close it out?
Well, now trailing by 2 goals, the Dolphins can't remain on the defensive as they've hardly mustered any attacking play as it is. They need to try and turn up the attacking pressure however possible, but with passes like that, it seems every trip into the attacking zone by the Lightning has been a productive one, at the very least turning them into shots. So the Dolphins will need to try and at least cut off some of those shots, but they can't get back in this game without getting on the scoreboard, and I think that needs to be the priority.
Yeah, I think this is going to be at least the 4th goal kick of the game here for Villacrest. So not exactly what she was hoping for. She's been, having to bail the team out here a lot, and with all these shots coming from the Lightning, it's starting to catch up to the Dolphins.
Evola has her pass intercepted. The Lightning right back on the attack as Young being challenged by Pelinkovic, shielding her off the ball, looking for somewhere to go with it. She finds Lee. Lee into the box. First to it was Campagna, and that shot is wide. And some of the fans in attendance wanted a foul call on that exchange, didn't get it, and instead it's another shot for Goldey-Beacom. Lauren Ebner and Hannah Clark enter the game for Goldey-Beacom with 11:45 to go in the first half. That is Marr, who has her pass intercepted, and a good defensive play there by Evola to prevent another scoring opportunity. But it might be a short-lived prevention as that one is saved by Villacrest on the hop.
Good job there by Villacrest, not letting that ball bounce past her. Cradles that in, and once again, she'll be clearing the ball.
Villacrest out toward midfield, sent up in the air by Como. And Como Hendo is waiting, but immediately taking it away was Lowry.
And Joe, that might have been the first time in about 7 or 8 minutes that the ball cleared midfield for the Dolphins.
The Dolphins faithful trying to will this team forward on the attack as the Dolphins have not spent much time to the left of midfield. As you said, Nick, the first time in many minutes the Dolphins have possessed the ball across the midfield stripe, and looks like it may be a short-lived possession as right now the Lightning have it in the neutral zone, but it rolls toward Galan, and she sends it back to her keeper Villacrest once again. Villacrest to Marr and up to Pelinkovic. Pelinkovic sends it a long way, and giving chase is Lowry. But first to it is Komuhendo. Komuhendo shouldered off the ball, but Benitez is trailing the play. Benitez moving along the top of the box. It's cleared away by Sequoia. That was Ebner, and Evola got a body on that ball, but emerging from the pack is Angela Lee. Lee has Coppola ahead, also has another attacker moving on the opposite wing. Instead, she shoots and sends it wide left.
Well, when your team is ahead 2-0, you are able to take those chances and just go for the shot, and that's exactly what you did there, but it did not pay off. Maybe would have been better off passing that into the box.
Dolphins have it along the far sideline, and it seems like right now this team is in desperate need of a goal, trailing 2-0 inside of 10 minutes to play in the first half. And before they can get on the scoreboard with a goal, they need a shot, and that just has not come easily. It hasn't come at all yet.
Yeah, you have to wonder if Dolphins head coach Brendan Guzman decides here to potentially bring on an extra forward here to kind of spark the offense, because the time of possession in this game is skewed big time towards the Lightning, and most of the game Dolphins have been in defense mode here, and that's not going to be a recipe for success here, trailing 2-0 in the first half.
Once again, the ball with the CSI keeper, Villacrest. She's been busy in this match, both saving shots and receiving passes. Goldey-Beacom into the attacking third, and once again, not hesitating on the shot was Lee.
And we'll have yet another goal kick here for the Dolphins. Story of the first half.
Villacrest to Albano. Albano over to Galan. Back with Albano, who sends it out towards midfield. Sequoia was there waiting. And the Dolphins will throw.
About 7.5 minutes here. Crucial point here for the Dolphins to try to muster some offense.
Throw in by Galan. Chipped right back up in the air and over the fence. Galan will throw a second time. 7:33 to go in the first half. Our score 2-0. Dolphins still looking for their first shot and looking for a possession in the attacking third first. They will not get it here as once again the Lightning moving forward. This is Lee, who has been very active since coming in the game, working against Pelinkovic. And there's a couple of body checks, but to no avail as the Lightning will throw. It will be Kira Cohen checking in for Goldey-Beacom. She replaces Alex Lowry with inside of 7 minutes on the clock. Villacrest punts out toward midfield. Knocked down with the body by Patola. And now Komuhendo with a chance, but not to be there, as waiting for it was Cohen, who just checked in. And now Campagna sends one up towards Clark, and Villacrest the first to it. She had help from Galan and Albano, but the Dolphins keeper dives on top of it and throws it up to Castro.
Yeah, Joe, and Villacrest has been very busy. It's not often that your goalkeeper is being the most active as far as it goes, as footsteps is concerned. She's wearing a footstep. If she was wearing a footstep tracker such as a Fitbit right now, it'd probably be well over 10,000 steps. She's got her hands in her hips here. Looks to be a little tired. Probably was not counting on getting all this action that she has here in the first 40 minutes of the game.
I'm not sure if you tuned into our last broadcast, Nick, but Villacrest made some remarkable saves in that match against Roberts Wesleyan, and unfortunately she didn't get any more goal support beyond the first half. It was a very busy day for her on Saturday, as well as that one is whiffed on by Albano as it appeared a clearance was forthcoming. Instead, nearly another scoring chance for the Lightning. In moves Patola, and her shot is high.
Very fortunate there, as there was a big swing and a miss there to try to clear that. And again, Lightning, what they're doing here, which I really like, Joe, is if they have a shot at all, any opening here to potentially score, doesn't matter if they're way downtown. They're going to go and kick that and try to get the shot on goal. Dolphins, perhaps, if they get the opportunities here moving forward, will do the same.
Lightning with possession in the attacking third yet again. This is Cole working against Evola, but Evola wins the ball back for CSI, and Como immediately sends it over the touchline. So it will be a throw-in for Goldey-Beacom inside of 5 minutes to go in the first half. That one headed right to Coppola, and her shot is over the outstretched arm of Villacrest and into the back of the net. The Lightning have broken this one wide open in the first half. With their 12th shot on goal, they take a 3-0 lead.
Nothing but the back of the net there. Lightning seem to be continuing to be in the aggressive here as they score once again, but we do have an injury here for a Dolphins player.
It's Angie Galan who is down, and we do have a Dolphin coming up off of the bench to replace her. That is Shirley Hernandez off of the Dolphins bench. I would guess that she is coming to replace Galan, who is being attended to by the trainer. 4:45 to go in the half with the Dolphins trailing 3-0. And
For the Lightning here, Lexi Coppola is, dare I say, en fuego. Her second goal of the half here. You know for sure she'll be going for that hat trick if she has the opportunity to do so.
So for Coppola, her previous score on the season was her first. That makes 2. She did have 13 shots coming in, so she has been active. 9 of those 13 on goal, so she has been heavily involved in the attacking play, has started 6 of the 7 games she has appeared in entering today's action. This game number 9 for Goldey-Beacom. So
yeah, and obviously it is Halloween season here, so she's definitely giving them pumpkin to talk about here as she is lighting up the scoreboard here for the Lightning.
Well, Nick, you're exhausting the Halloween puns 3 weeks early. You better hope you're not back on the broadcast closer to Halloween, as you may be out by the time we air a game later in the month.
You really have to trick or treat yourself when it comes to these Halloween puns.
Just couldn't help it, but throw in one more as we have another 50 minutes to go in this match. I'm not sure you can keep them coming, and yes, that is a challenge as Hernandez kicks off for the Dolphins from the midfield stripe and sends it back to Evola. And this is Castro and Rodriguez to Albano and over to Mar. Sent up to Como. Como moving forward, looking for Hernandez and Benitez, who were both in the area. And it winds up with Talbot. Whistle blows. Foul called against Hernandez on the shove, and it'll be a free kick for the Lightning.
First time in about 35 minutes, I would say, that the Lightning goalie even really had to make a play for a ball.
Taking a look at the numbers for Goldey-Beacom coming in on the season, they entered with a negative goal differential. 14 goals scored, 17 goals against, as that one is sent to the Dolphins keeper, Villacrest, who tracks it down. But they've now evened up their goal differential for the season, and with one more would be on the positive end of that statistic. This is Mar. Over to Evola. Up to Rodriguez, and it's taken away by Patullo. Patullo looking for Coppola in search of the hat trick, as you mentioned before, Nick. And Como Hendo comes up with it for CSI, chips it ahead, and Sequoia heads it right back in the other direction.
Yeah, you discussed goal differential, and it's the same thing in baseball with run differential. The good teams always are in the positive. The bad teams, it's no surprise, are in the negative right now. CSI Dolphins are negative 33 on the season, so just tough to win games when you're allowing so many goals, regardless of how many stars you might have in offense. If you're not getting the shots on goal, you're not going to be able to score. The Dolphins need to create a lot more scoring opportunities here in the last 48 minutes of this game.
Certainly time for the College of Staten Island to get things right in this match. Perhaps not enough time to get back even on the scoreboard, as this first half has been all Goldey-Beacom, and we haven't seen any indication that the Dolphins will be able to turn this game all the way around and either get even or back in front. But for the Dolphins, they need to find a way to generate some attacking opportunities.
Yeah, and I think the goal here for the Lady Dolphins has to be to not give up another goal here in the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds, because if you go down 4-0 into the half, it's all but over.
Well, we've seen goals late in the half more than once from this Dolphins team this season, and one could go a long way right here. They have 2 minutes to make it happen with the ball on the foot of Benitez. Back to Evola. Now Como Hendo. Dolphins taking their time here as Castro sends it up the pitch, looking for Hernandez, or at the very least, she was the closest Dolphin. Mar toward Como, and Ebner is there, and she sends it right back to her keeper yet again, as that one skips into the midfield circle where Albano was waiting. She sends it up ahead. Benitez the closest Dolphin. Como waiting for it on the way down. Benitez against Ebner, looking to stay in the play. And it was advantage Lightning on that play.
Yeah, nice job there by both Mar and then Albano to play it forward, but unfortunately for the Dolphins. Nobody is there to receive the ball, and now we're at 1 minute here left in the first half here, and the Dolphins trailing 3-0, being outshot 12-0, and don't even have a corner kick either.
Really no chance to speak of whatsoever for the Dolphins. I believe they had one free kick across midfield, and that was about it. But if you're this Dolphins team, you need to remember it only takes one chance to get up on the scoreboard if it's the right opportunity, and they need one in the worst way right now. It doesn't look like they will get it to close out this first half, however, as there are 22 seconds up on the clock, and there may be one more chance upcoming for the Lightning. And our public address announcer, J.C. Ziegler, will count down the final seconds of half number one, and it was not a good one for the College of Staten Island. A much better half for Goldey-Beacom. If you're a fan of the Lightning, you have to like what you see. It's 3-0 in favor of Goldey-Beacom at halftime, and when we come back, Nick and I will have analysis of the first half, some stats, and a look ahead to half number two. This is NCAA Division II women's soccer coverage on CSI Sportsnet. Dolphins and Lightning pick up the second half when we come back.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Hi. May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish. Stay your fish. Stay your fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at It's On Us.
Network, Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst, bringing you the second half of this NCAA Division II women's soccer matchup between the College of Staten Island and Goldey-Beacom College. And as you can see on your screen, we are inside of 10 seconds to go until the start of half number 2. And very quickly, some halftime stats, which unfortunately for the College of Staten Island were very lopsided in the favor of Goldey-Beacom. Shot totals 11-0 in favor of the Lightning. Corner kicks 1-0 in favor of the Lightning. 3 saves made by Dolphins goalkeeper Sarah Villacrest, and 5 fouls, all whistled against the College of Staten Island. So the Dolphins can only go up from those first half statistics. And what could we be looking for from this Dolphins team in half number 2 to improve upon that first half performance?
Well, Joe, to quote our former colleague, the all-time great, Mike Babusky, boy, oh boy, that was not a pretty first half for the Lady Dolphins. And you mentioned all the stats here, and time of possession is extremely skewed towards the Lightning here. And they are just taking advantage every single chance they get. When they get into the offensive zone, whether they miss by 15 feet or not, they are shooting the ball. And that's exactly what I think you need to do here in the start of the second half. You need to be the aggressor here if you are the Dolphins. Come out there in attack mode, not defense mode. There's only so many times you can play the ball back to the goalie, Villacrest, before it's an oopsie-daisy and something bad happens. And, right now, of course, the storyline to keep an eye on here in the second half for Goldey-Beacom is going to be, will Coppola get that hat trick? Will Ruggieri continue to be scary for the Lightning against the Dolphins? And even if the Dolphins can't come back here and win this game, I mean, they're trailing 3-0, so it is an uphill battle here. The key is to at least get some shots on goal here, Joe. That's going to be the formula for success here, moving forward here, just for the rest of the season. You got to get shots on goal here. Again, Dolphins, they have been giving up 18 shots on goal per game, on pace to go up 24 here, and they are also averaging 5 shots per game, but so far 0 shots per game here. And it's just going to be a really tough task here going into the second half. Again, just get in the attack here if you're the Dolphins, and whenever you have the chance, try to shoot, cross it into the middle towards the net, and you really can't afford to be playing the ball back here much more here as you're down 3-0 going into the last 45 minutes. And we're about to get things started here, and it looks like the Lightning are changing their goalie.
And you are right about that, Nick. We saw the Lightning warming up a new keeper at the half. Unfortunately, I can't read the number on the kit from here, as I did see 3 goalkeepers on the field for Goldey-Beacom getting set ahead of this second half. 2 goalkeepers taking shots against the third. So once we have a number, it looks like 00, and that would be Nikki Cashin in net for Goldey-Beacom moving forward in this match. And speaking of attacking play, you mentioned the Dolphins need for stronger attacking play for Goldey-Beacom with that first half and the pair of goals by Coppola. They now have 7 different players who have scored more than 1 goal on the season. So a very prolific Lightning attack, and that's been on full display so far in this match.
Yeah, and for Goldey-Beacom Lightning here, they may not have a great record, but they are outshooting opponents going to this game 121-82 on the season. That's 64 of 44 on target. And listen, good things happen when you shoot the ball. And as you can see here, the Dolphins finally do so, and they get their first shot on goal here a minute into the second half.
Not quite the shot they were looking for, but that is more than they had in the first half. So the Dolphins with the first shot of half number 2, the first shot on goal of half number 2. And once again, the ball back with their keeper, Sarah Villacres. This is Albano up to Pelinkovic. Back to Marr. Marr for Voigt Penson, and she's tripped up, but got a foot on it and sends it back to Albano. Albano for Voigt Penson once again. That pass for Evola over the near sideline. Lightning throw.
And while we have a second here, we want to congratulate a friend of the Dolphins athletic program here, former guest of the Dolphin Pod, Kenny Albert, for doing his 12,000th, I believe it was, national broadcast game. Quite an accomplishment for Kenny Albert.
No doubt about it. That is a lot of primetime play-by-play commentary and broadcasts to speak of over the course of an illustrious broadcasting career, one that I know both of us can aspire towards. And hopefully one day, for me, I will reach that mark in terms of CSI Sportsnet broadcasts. It's been a very fun 6 years, and I have no idea how far along I am on that count toward 1,200, but one day hopefully I get there.
We'll have to check with the sports information department there. Perhaps Joe Masha can go into the archives and find that for you. Fortunately, nobody keeps track of that, but you can check out the majority of Joe's broadcasts, of course, on CSI Sportsnet on YouTube, and, of course, over the past 2 years on the ECC Sports Network.
Here come the Lightning on the attack again, as it will be Ruggieri sending it in. This time, the playmaker on that attacking sequence, as that one is cleared away by the Dolphins. It will be a Lightning throw-in. And as crazy as it may seem, I could probably look back at the schedule from my first broadcast through this one and tell you just about every game I called without making an error, as many as there may be, as that one's chipped into the box, and Marr looking to fight off the attacker Christofferson, who was in good position right on top of the dot. Good job there by the Dolphins defender to send it over the far sideline.
Great job there by the Dolphins to clear that and prevent the Lightning from getting yet another shot on goal. Joe, you do have a bit of photographic memory, though, so I would say it's not the norm that somebody could look back at a schedule for 6 years and know when they were on the air.
I'd like to think I could do it. Might prove a bit more challenging if you put the schedules in front of me, but I think I'd be fairly accurate. As that one rolls toward the touch line, and Pacheco able to keep it in play for now. Working against Castro, now retreating. It's Duca who takes it away, and Castro sends it out toward midfield. Off the head of Mejia. This is Duca who knocks it down with the body. She chips it toward the midfield dot. It winds up on the foot of Evola. Evola for Espada. That ball on target, but the first one to it is Mejia. Espada is shielded off of the ball, and it rolls over the touchline. A good play there by the Lightning defender.
Good job there by the Lightning defender, who really hasn't had to be too active in the first half here, the Lightning defense, but early the second time here, as the Dolphins seem to be trying to attack the right side of the pitch, as the shot on goal previously came from that position as well.
Mejia was all over that one as she chased it down along the touchline, not allowing Espada any angle to make a play on that ball. It was on target, but the body of Mejia keeping Espada away from getting a foot on it. As Castro sent it toward Pelinkovic, who got a foot on it, but instead the Lightning will look to move forward across midfield. And once again, it's another touch for the Dolphins keeper, Sarah Villacres. And she sends it over to Castro. Castro for Voigt Penson, and Pacheco intercepts the ball off the Voigt Penson pass.
This is Mejia. Young. Back to Lowry and up in the air where it winds up on the foot of Lee, but Lee fouled Rodriguez. Mar's pass for Voight Penson, received right along the midfield stripe. This is Rodriguez. She's met by Lee, and Lee sends it off of Rodriguez. It will be a lightning throw. Throwing off the foot of Pelinkovic, and then Christopherson got a foot on it.
Christopherson actually kicked that one right into her face and then off her arm.
And thus we have a handball. So it will be a free kick for the Dolphins. Pelinkovic to take it. Evola has Ruggieri right behind her, and I'm not sure she was aware of it right away as Pelinkovic moves across midfield. That ball for Como Hendo, who will give chase down into the corner, and she runs out of space.
Just too far on the pass there for Como Hendo, and she generously picks up the ball and stops it from going all to the fence for the Lightning to throw it in. Perhaps the Dolphins realizing here, yes, it's the whole half left, but 38 minutes is going to go quick when you have to score 3 goals.
That time will tick down awfully fast in this second half on CSI. They face a 3-0 deficit, looking to keep a goal-scoring streak alive. They have scored in each of their last 3 matches after facing several shutout defeats ahead of that trio of matches this past week. The Dolphins had been shut out in 4 straight matches ahead of the 4-2 defeat against Queens on the 25th of September. That is Castro for CSI, who was working against Ruggieri, and Ruggieri with a quick throw-in.
Yeah, Ruggieri lightning quick there with the throw-in, and she's going straight to the net.
That's Immediato with the cross, and the shot by Ruggieri is wide. And Dan Frick wanted a foul call as Immediato was sent down to the turf.
Certainly there, Dan Frick looking for the penalty call there. And, of course, that is, a soccer coach's favorite drink is penalty.
We did see a penalty kick in our last match, and Villacrest was able to make the save on the penalty kick. At the time, it kept that match even. Here come the Lightning yet again. This time Ruggieri will be the player looking to cross. Working against Castro. Now moves into a shooting position, sends it over to Immediato, and it's sent away by the Dolphins. Waiting for it was Lowry. Headed by Evola onto the foot of Lee. Back with Owen. She was looking for Pacheco on the pass, and Espada let it roll, but offsides was the call.
Nada there for Espada. Goes off sides, and a lucky break for the Dolphins, assuming they're able to clear this here after the throw-in.
In her defense, I think Espada did know that the attacker was off sides as Pacheco chased that ball down. And off of the throw, it could be another chance brewing for Goldey-Beacom, but it's sent over the near sideline. Lightning with it just outside the box. This is Immediato working against a pair of Dolphins, primarily Castro. And she is dispossessed. Here comes CSI. But Voight Penson is cut off by Mejia. Mejia for Christopherson. And back to Young. Up to Lee. Lee has space. Her shot skips wide.
Great sequence there for the Lightning. Mejia says see ya as she turns on the blazing lightning quick speed. Crosses it across the field, and Lightning get a good attempt there, but the shot goes just wide.
And the puns keep on coming from Nick Durst as we tick down towards 35 minutes to play in the second half. Villacrest to take the goal kick, and she goes short to Mar. Mar right past the foot of Rodriguez, who simply misplayed it.
So the Dolphins here came out as the aggressor, got a quick early shot on goal, But ever since, it's been the same story here as it was in the first half, and that is that the Dolphins just cannot seem to get the ball across midfield, but that might change right here.
Como looking to make that happen. Finds Evola. That pass right on target. Evola has it knocked away by Owen. This is Albano looking for Evola, intercepted by Ruggieri. She finds Christofferson. Christofferson for Lee. Lee moving in, left-footed shot, once again wide.
And we'll have yet another goal kick here.
He's been wide on her last 2 attempts, one from the corner of the box, that one from a position closer to the center of the pitch as Sequoia will track this one down for the Lightning as Duca pursues behind the play, and it's cleared away by the goalkeeper Cashin. Sent up in the air by Young, chipped by Christofferson. Here comes Lee, and Villacrest meets her, makes the save, but Lee will follow it up with another shot wide.
Lee can see that she's getting closer and closer to a goal here. 3rd wide shot in a row, but at this point, why not keep shooting it? Empty net there, just a little wide there for Lee.
That is the 2nd time in as many broadcasts that we have seen a team fail to score on an empty net. Or I should say in our last 3 broadcasts, as it was against Lincoln, where the Dolphins surrendered an empty net opportunity. At the time, it was 2-0. And the Lions unable to put the ball in, as now Como is ahead of the field, but wisely coming off her line was Cashin to clear it out toward midfield. Now Como giving chase again, but first to it was Lowry. Cashin chips it away and throws her hands up in the air in frustration. I'm not sure if with herself or with her team.
Cashin there kind of just kicks it right out of bounds. I think she perhaps panicked a little bit there, or maybe like you noted, she was upset with her teammates for not being there to collect the pass.
Rodriguez off of a Lightning player, and we will have the first CSI corner kick of the match.
Joe, what do you think the strategy is going to be here on this corner kick? Looks to me they might try for a quick pass.
I think that would be a mistake because they haven't had the ball in front of goal the entire game, and this keeper is yet to face a throughtening shot. And that goes for all keepers.
That was a horribly blown opportunity there. Quick pass, and it goes right out of bounds, and thrown in, and the Lightning have possession once again.
I can see that being the play if the intent was to make the pass in and then cross, but that didn't look like it was Rodriguez's intention. That being said, on that particular corner kick, the Lightning had almost their entire field of players in the box, so that makes an attempt into the box a difficult one to turn into a goal, but with a keeper who is coming off of the bench to start the half, that might be a chance you want to take if you're the Dolphins, as Solomon was looking for Duca and couldn't find her with that pass. For Cashin, she has appeared in only one other match this season. Once again in that match, she played the second half and made 2 saves. It has been all Noelle Talbot so far in this season for the Lightning, with the exception of one 45-minute half. For Talbot on the season coming in, she faced 25 shots and saved 17 of them. Those numbers remain the same. After one half of work in this match, the Dolphins did not register their first shot until the opening minute of this second half. And that one will trickle over the near sideline. Substitution for Goldey-Beacom. Alyssa Patullo checks in. And Angela Lee checks out.
Lee probably not very happy to be checking out here because she had 3 scoring opportunities and missed wide to the left of the net 3 times.
And that shot is on target by Taylor Owens, saved by Villacrest.
Owens there from way downtown. But again, at this point, the Lightning here are just looking to tally on to the goals here. They don't need to worry about being in defense mode. So when they're on the attack, they are the aggressor here. And it is a good strategy for them to keep firing away. 17 shots on goal now.
You know, Nick, I was just taking a look at that shots on goal tally on the scoreboard. That's clearly too high. It is actually 17 shots and 8 on goal. I think the shots on goal up on the scoreboard have accounted for every shot attempted, as we may have another one here. Immediato working. Now that was Cole with it. Christopherson got a foot on it, and it's cleared away by Marr. We'll have to get that changed, as it should read 8 shots on goal on the scoreboard. 17 shots is the overall total, but the live stats have it right.
Yeah, it appears the scoreboard here is malfunctioning a bit, perhaps, as the Dolphins' corner kick, although they did not really kick it too much into the box or anything, it was muffled away, is at 0, but they do have 1 corner kick.
I just called into the next room to get the scoreboard adjusted, as it's thrown in by CSI, and that opportunity quickly squandered in the corner. We'll see if it's going to be a throw-in for the Lightning or for CSI, and it'll be a substitution for the Lightning as Lexi Coppola checks back in.
Coppola coming in here well rested, and of course she'll be looking for the hat trick. And as we have some confusion here, it's a good time to give a shout out to our videographer. Up on the rooftop is Sean Fitzpatrick, doing a great job as always here at Dolphin Park.
He will get one more shout out before the day is done, as our crew rounded out by Joe Masha on stats, Christina Soverizzo working the scoreboard.
Yeah, the one thing about Sean, though, is you don't want to make him work when he's hungry. So sometimes things could get rough there, but well-rested, well-fed, coming here straight from his lunch.
He's
Good
not
job,
himself.
Sean.
When he's hungry, grab a meal, as we can't advertise any further, as we've been giving
Grab
out
some
a lot of
Hobra.
free advertisements. Grab some Hobra, that's right. And Hobra actually has a new establishment.
I passed it this morning on the south shore of Staten Island, Arthur Kill Road.
I was not aware until I passed it probably about a week ago, and couldn't believe it, as I had no idea, and it's been quite a long time since I filmed that commercial.
Perhaps when the calendar turns here to 2022, we could see the return of the Coaches Show and the debut episode at the new Hobra Taco Joint establishment.
Well, I know you and I are ready. We're just waiting for the call, as it's Duca with it. She crosses toward Como. A good cross, and Como's shot is blocked. And I think they're going to get Goldey-Beacom for the handball. And that's a tough break for the Lightning, as I'm not sure there was any other way that shot was going to be blocked. But free kick opportunity for CSI in a scoring position.
This is the best opportunity the Dolphins have had all day here to get a goal. And we'll see if they're able to capitalize here. Frick back with his shtick here, which is yelling at the referee. He is not very happy about that call. But as you mentioned, Joe, really, what could the Lightning have done there?
Not much else. It's tough to tell who got a body on it. I think it was Lowry who was called for the handball. Evola could make a bid at her 3rd goal of the season right here on the free kick. And valuable seconds ticking off the clock as we approach 25 minutes to play in the second half. Dolphins need a goal to make this a game again. And Evola's shot is high. She can't believe it.
It looks like the Dolphins there are just stunned as that ball went high. But, of course, they had the wall in front of them, so tough there to do. And the shot goes just a little high into the netting and gets stuck. And the Lightning clear it here. Dolphins playing it back in, but that ball goes out of bounds. And we will have some substitutions here for the Lightning. Hannah Clark comes in, and number 10, Jenna Campagna. Coming off here is Immediato. And Alyssa Ruggieri is out of the game as well. So no more Ruggieri here, which is good news if you are the Dolphins.
I'm sure the Lightning will not allow this one to get too interesting. If they need Ruggieri back out there on the pitch, she will be ready. But I stepped into the room next door to handle the scoreboard issue, and hopefully that gets taken care of as Natalie Benitez checks back in.
You know what they say, Joe? You can take the guy out of sports information, but you can't take the sports information out of the guy.
Yeah, I think that's true. As it will be Dolphins possession just beyond midfield. Castro for Voigt Penson. And Voigt Penson sends it towards Solomon, but it's headed down by Pacheco. And here come the Lightning. That one sent up ahead by Campagna. And Albano able to send it back in the other direction. It rolls over the near sideline. We apologize for our audio cutout. I think we had a loose wire beneath the commentary desk, but that appears to have been taken care of. The action picks up with 25:53 to go in the second half. Score 3-0 between the Dolphins and the Lightning as Albano goes down, working against Coppola, who gives her a shove. And it's going to be a corner kick for Goldey-Beacom.
Looks like they're having some words there, but it's going to be another corner kick here for the for the Lightning, and that's actually something the Dolphins have done a good job of, limiting the corner kicks today. Only the second of the game right here.
Following another lull in the action, I'm going to step into the next room for just a minute as that one is sent in toward the middle of the box, headed away by Evola. Waiting for it is Pacheco. She chips it back into the center of the box. And Villacrez is there.
Villacrez once again doing a great job getting her hands on that one. Another stop. And this has been a consistent theme of the game here so far today, which is Villacrez having to make the stops and also getting the ball played back to her nonstop. It's been quite the challenging day for her. Overall, she's doing a solid job here and tons of goal kicks. The Dolphins here struggling once again to get the ball into the offensive zone. Finally do that, but it's played right back in. And they once got on defensive, but that ball is cleared. Good job there. The Dolphins have a shot, but it's snuffed out. Dolphins maintain possession briefly, but that ball is knocked away. It looks like the Lightning are going to be going back the other way.
Thanks for picking up the call, Nick. We have the scoreboard corrected to reflect the correct shots on goal total. And the Lightning now possess the ball, moving across midfield into the attacking third, but Albano intercepts that pass and sends one toward her striker, Solomon, but Sequoia is there to clear it over the near sideline.
Now, I do like that play there by Albano a lot. Very heads up. I wish the Dolphins would have been doing that earlier. Kick the ball forward. Bad things usually don't happen in that sense. But for the most part of this game, Joe, they've been playing it back to Villacrez, and that has allowed the Lightning to be in the attack for more than 3/4 of the game.
Horn will sound, and looks like another new keeper will get some action as Jennifer Mejia will check in and replace Nikki Cashin. So for Mejia, it's her first action in net this season. And maybe it's just me seeing it incorrectly from here, but her gloves in goal look massive. Is that just me, Nick?
I don't know, Joe. She might be wearing some oven mitts. I'm not really sure. Those things
I
are
have
tremendous.
never seen a pair of goalkeeping gloves that appear that large. They look like the flippers that you'd wear as a scuba diver. Those mitts are huge.
Maybe they're laced with spider tack. I don't know.
I mean, what I was double-checking as well is I wanted to make sure that she didn't borrow the uniform of another goalkeeper to come in as a goalkeeper, but she is 0 on the roster. So that is Nikki Mejia. Or, excuse me, Jennifer Mejia.
I believe her sister, I'm going to guess, is Kelly, as they both are from the same high school, but perhaps not. One's a freshman, one is a senior.
Well, we had a pair of players on the same roster with the same last name, and when they're from the same hometown and the same school, the safe assumption is a relation, but that's not always the case.
And I will point out here, as we have a bit of a collision, Joe, I mean, you've done more games than me, but I have never seen a team bus as nice as the one I'm looking at right here. The Goldey-Beacom bus is decked out in team colors.
It's funny you mention that, Nick, because it was at the last game, or I should say the last game of the previous week. So we had the game on Saturday, so the previous week on Wednesday, or at least earlier that same week, we had the Lincoln University Lions come in, and the bus that pulled up was covered in decals featuring all of their athletes and really looked great. Very similar to the Goldey-Beacom bus as well with the logo, but interspersed with the logo were different decals featuring the athletes. Another very nice bus, and we've seen that now twice in the last 3 matches.
Well, Joe, I think, it's obvious not only what the level of play on the field we've seen this season, but all things considered, it's a whole different ball game in D2.
No doubt about it, as the Lightning with another opportunity on the attack, and the Dolphins forced to clear yet again, and it will be a throw-in for Goldey-Beacom. Looking ahead at the upcoming schedule for the College of Staten Island and our broadcasts here on the ECC network, it's going to be a bit of a dark period for the next couple of weeks in terms of women's soccer coverage. Dolphins, I don't believe, are back home until the 21st, as that one rolls onto the foot of Sequoia, and she will have the opportunity to clear or to send it ahead, and the Lightning will look to work it up the far sideline. But East Stroudsburg comes in on Thursday, October 21st. That match begins at 4 p.m., a non-conference matchup.
First Thursday home game of the season for the Dolphins.
One of only 2 non-conference matches remaining beyond that point on the schedule. After today, there are 3 more non-conference matches for CSI. The first will take place on the road at Wilmington, another CACC member. They share a conference with Goldey-Beacom. That match takes place on Thursday, October 14th. And Shirley Hernandez will check back in following the most recent horn. It will be a throw-in for the Dolphins.
Dolphins heading up to Buffalo this weekend for a tough conference matchup.
That match will take place on Saturday at 12 p.m. at Deauville. The Saints, an ECC member. One of 5 ECC matches remaining on the CSI schedule. As that one rolls toward the top of the box, and Villacrest had to use the feet, as that one didn't get there soon enough for her to play it with the hands. And it will be a free kick for the Dolphins following a foul call near the top of the box. But of those 5 remaining East Coast Conference matchups, 2 will be broadcast here on Sportsnet via the ECC network, and those will be the last 2 matches of the season. 2 tough matchups against Malloy and Bridgeport. A pair of Saturday games, so I expect to have you in the booth alongside me, Nick.
We'll see, Brian. We also have the return of the one and only Joe Calabrese.
Certainly enough time for everyone to get a piece of the call here on Sportsnet. And basketball season is looming. We are about, I think we're 5 weeks away from the start of basketball, maybe 5 weeks and a day.
It's going to be quite the start to the season in November. Lots of basketball at the end of the month. Looking forward to that. And we might have some, well, there's going to be some, as far as athletics is concerned, some baseball and softball here coming up real soon.
So basketball will get underway 5 weeks from Saturday. That's women's basketball. So 5 weeks from Friday will be the official tip-off of our basketball slate, beginning with CSI Dolphins men's basketball on Friday, November 12th.
And if you are interested in playing women's basketball, head over to the CSI Women's Basketball Instagram page for more details. There is an open roster spot.
Open tryouts being hosted. They're also looking for some male practice players as well. So more information available at csidolphins.com and on the Instagram page of CSI Dolphins Women's Basketball. If I'm not mistaken, that Instagram page is at CSI_WBB, but I will double check that right now.
I'm pretty sure that you are correct there.
Don't want to provide any incorrect information, as I will take a look at that right now.
And it looks like the track team is out here, Joe, practicing as we have a great view of the whole facility here from the press box.
Dolphins possess it, moving into the midfield. And that one is sent back in the other direction. Unfortunately, I don't have my own personal Instagram, and I'm no longer running the CSI Dolphins Instagram, so I can't easily access it, but I think that is correct. CSI_WBB on Instagram for CSI Women's Basketball. You can also go to CSIDolphins.com for more information regarding those open tryouts. As that one's sent across midfield, rolling toward the goalkeeper Mejia, and she gets her first touch of the match.
Looks like the Dolphins are getting a goalkeeper loose at the sideline here on the right side. So we'll see if we do get a change here at some point, as the CSI Dolphins player was stretching out.
And Lee's shot is saved by Villacrest, who has had more opportunities than Lee since the closing minutes of the first half. And I think if the Dolphins do make a change in goal, it would be a first-time appearance for the new goalkeepers. I'm taking a look at the roster, and the two listed goalkeepers are Solomon and Villacrest. And I don't believe that is Solomon. No, it isn't. So it would be a first-time appearance for whoever that is jogging in the orange kit along the near sideline in the corner of the Lightning zone. Here comes Benitez. Strong touch, forcing her to chase it down. She looks to cross. Instead, will put one on goal, and Mejia was there waiting.
Nice job there by Benitez trying to generate some sort of offense, and great job to take a shot from so far away and at least get it on goal.
Ball in the midfield. And now with the Lightning. That one headed by Lee, who may get another scoring chance here. Lee moving in, but that touch too strong. And she knew it, as it will be a Dolphins goal kick, and it looks like the Lightning will be returning some of their starters. Immediato, Cohen, Christofferson, and Ruggieri back onto the pitch for Goldey-Beacom. Albano and Evola come off for Staten Island. Espada is back on. And I'm not sure who the second Dolphin is that checked back in. I think it was along the back line, and I think Alora Surratt just checked in for the first time. As Mejia sends one out toward the midfield circle, Pelinkovic got a foot on it, but it's right back with the Lightning. Sequoia for Pacheco. Pacheco over to Immediato. This is Ruggieri. Ruggieri moving in, looking to cross. Deep into the box along the touchline. Puts one in front. And it rolls past onto the foot of Lee. And once again, the shot from Lee is off target.
Lee doing all she can here to try to get on the board with a goal. Fourth time this half that she has taken a shot, but it has not been on net.
Time has flown by here in the second half. We approach 10 minutes on the clock. The Dolphins trailing 3-0. And their goal-scoring streak in jeopardy, have registered one in 3 straight matches, coming off a string of shutouts. And that streak is very much in jeopardy right now.
Yeah, and the Dolphins here had 5 goals in their last 3 games, after only having 2 in the first 7. And you thought the tide might have been turning, but not great here today offensively. And we are going to have, I believe, the goalkeeper change. Yes. Number 30 is coming in for the Dolphins.
Don't try and find her on the roster, Nick. She is not there, as I did guess that the goalkeeper checking in would be a first-time goalkeeper. And perhaps this is a first-time appearance for the Dolphin in between the pipes right now. And unfortunately, we do not have that name for you on our official game program. I will check the official roster on the website, which I know needs to be updated to reflect any changes. So I'll take a look at that in just a moment and see if we can get you the name of that Dolphins goalkeeper. Throw in for Staten Island along the near sideline. And that's Kayla Francis in goal, Nick. So Francis, yet to be added to the game program, is on the official roster over at csidolphins.com.
Well, if I had to guess, I think Francis will be tested here in the last 8.5 minutes. So we'll see how she does in her first action here as a Dolphin.
Taylor Owen back in for the Lightning. And she will likely be out there for the final 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Pacheco to throw in. Long throw for Christofferson. That one redirected toward the middle of the pitch onto the foot of Immediato. And it's cleared away by Marr into the midfield circle. Hernandez is there. Now Benitez gets a body on it. Voigt Penson had it deflect off her foot straight to Goldey-Beacom. Two teams now trading possessions in the midfield. Chipped up in the air for Benitez. Benitez looking for Hernandez. Hernandez is onside, but Mejia was waiting. And that is cleared over the fence along the far sideline.
Good job there by Mejia to sprint to the ball, lightning quick, and clear it there to avoid any shot attempt by the Dolphins.
Benitez being challenged along the far sideline by Ebner. And it will be a Lightning throw with 7:15 to play. The throw for Christofferson. And the whistle is blown. Foul against Christofferson. Dolphins free kick with 7 minutes to play. Free kick taken by Rodriguez, straight off the head of Lowry. It's sent right back in the direction of the Dolphin zone. This is Ruggieri who gets by Castro. Ruggieri moving in, and she beats Francis inside of the far post. Ruggieri back into the goal column, and for her, that is number 5 on the season, extending her lead in that department for Goldey-Beacom. They now lead 4-0.
See the goal, be the goal. That's what Ruggieri has done today. Second goal of the game, torching the Dolphins up and down the field all day. Lightning quick speed, and another goal for her as she is now tied in the game with 2 goals with her teammate Coppola.
Coppola and Ruggieri each with a pair, and the Lightning break it wide open in the final 6:38, but the Dolphins have really yet to mount any significant scoring threat. They haven't had a problem getting possession in the second half anyway, but unfortunately for Staten Island, none of those possessions in the attacking third turning into any threatening scoring chance. As Hernandez chips one up in the air toward the middle of the box, but waiting for it was Mejia. Ball in the midfield on the foot of Como. She sends it up to Espada. Espada for Como once again, and that through ball is knocked away, but Pelinkovic is waiting. Pelinkovic down toward the corner, crosses one off of Sequoia, and sent back in the other direction. Here comes Ruggieri again. Ruggieri up the near sideline. Ruggieri up to Immediato, who crosses into the attacking third, working against Castro. Immediato into the middle of the pitch for Lowry, who's behind the play. Lowry Sends one into the box, and that one is sent into the back of the net by Taylor Owen. And that makes it 5-0. What a counterattack by Goldey-Beacom as the Dolphins had possession down in the corner in the Lightning zone. And immediately Goldey-Beacom able to counter in the other direction. A good ball into the middle of the pitch for Lowry, who was in a good scoring position, but she found Taylor Owen in an even better scoring position, and Owen makes it 5-0.
Owen showing that she could score too, and the Lightning here up 5-0. It's going to be all she wrote at this point. With 5.5 minutes left in this one, Dolphins looking to at least just try to get a goal on the board here and not get shut out.
Well, the Lightning will certainly be going home happy today, as they will do so in style as well inside of that team bus. Parked just beyond the track. You can possibly see it on your screen.
Right now, if you look, yeah, I wonder if they call that team bus Grease Lightning. Nice lightning strike right there on the bus. As we're going to have some substitutions here for the Dolphins. Danny Duca comes back into the game. And Jenna Como is going to come off.
.430 remaining in this one. Dolphins now trail 5-0, and there were quite a few shot attempts in the second half for the Lightning, but their best chances have not been on target. That changed in the last few minutes, and with that, they've put another pair of goals up on the scoreboard. The official shot tally, 19 for Goldey-Beacom, 4 for Staten Island. 10 of those 19 shots on goal attempted by Goldey-Beacom, and 3 of the 4 CSI shots on target. Unfortunately, it's impossible to track the time of possession via the live stats, but I don't think there's any disputing that it has been the Lightning firmly in control in that department, and that's been a big reason why they have had so many scoring chances as opposed to only 4 for Staten Island.
Yeah, Joe, I would say at this point in the game, it's kind of crazy, but the Lightning might have had the ball for 85 minutes worth of possession. Dolphins really, when they had the ball, they kind of just shoved it ahead, and it kind of was an immediate turnover as the forwards are just unable to get their feet on the balls today, and only 3 shots on goal to show for the good efforts of the midfield.
It's been a tough afternoon out on the pitch for the College of Staten Island. And they will look to bounce back on Saturday up in Buffalo in an ECC matchup against DeUville.
Yeah, heading up to Buffalo, and watch out for Bills Mafia. They're all over the place right now. Very excited, the Bills fans, as their team is doing great. And big game this weekend against the Chiefs for the Bills.
Buffalo offense has looked a lot like this Goldey-Beacom offense here this afternoon. Scoring a lot of points, in this case, a lot of goals. And looking ahead to that Dolphins matchup against DeUville on Saturday, Saints are going to come in with an overall record of 3-5, just as the Lightning did this afternoon. In the ECC, DeUville 1-3. Their victory came against St. Thomas Aquinas. As Francis will look to send this one up toward Pelinkovich, and she does. And that's over the near sideline for a Staten Island throw inside of 2 minutes remaining in the second half. We did have another Dolphin check in for the first time, and I'll have to check the online roster once again, as we have a number 1 out there on the pitch, and she's also not listed in our program, and that is Kayleen Meze-Mendez.
Minute and a half here left to go.
Ball in the midfield on the foot of Taylor Owen, the previous goal scorer for the Lightning, and they look like they might be trying to add one more as the Dolphins do take possession back and will move slowly across midfield. Espada for Hernandez, and she is shielded off the ball by Sequoia. 1 minute remaining in the second half. A very disappointing contest for the College of Staten Island, but credit to Goldey-Beacom as they came into Dolphins Soccer Park and took care of business this afternoon. Looks like it is going to be a 5-0 victory for the Lightning, barring one final goal in this match on a potential attacking sequence for Staten Island. It was slowed down a bit on that clearance. CSI will take their time with the throw-in.
Yeah, and 30 seconds here. Very disappointing afternoon here for the Dolphins. Not what they were expecting coming into this one, especially with their success here at home and this being a non-conference game. Just need to regroup and kind of just put this one behind you as you head into the weekend, heading up to Buffalo.
They will have 2 days and a long bus ride to Buffalo to figure things out as this match does indeed come to a close. 5-0. The Goldey-Beacom College Lightning come into the College of Staten Island and pick up a convincing 5-goal victory. Some final stats before we wrap up today's broadcast. The final shot tally for the Lightning, 20. 4 for the College of Staten Island. 11 of those 20 Goldey-Beacom shots on target. 3 of 4 for Staten Island. Corner kicks in this match, 2-1. In favor of Goldey-Beacom. 7 fouls whistled against CSI, 5 against the Lightning. Offsides, Staten Island 2, Goldey-Beacom 1. And, of course, the stat that matters most, 5 goals allowed by the College of Staten Island, 6 shots saved, and 3 saves made by Goldey-Beacom goalkeeping in this one. And that pretty much tells the story. One stat we are missing, as we said, Nick, time of possession. That also clearly favoring the Lightning in this match. What are some of your takeaways before we sign off?
Well, as we have the Lightning players here sing happy birthday to somebody, takeaway here is just offensively, the Dolphins could not muster much of an attack today. 3 shots on goal, 0 in the first half. They were on defense the whole time. Villacrest did a solid job in that, but ultimately, when you're allowing so many shots on goal, bad things are going to happen, and that's what happened here today.
No doubt about that, Nick, and we touched on it before we got underway. The Dolphins have allowed a lot of scoring chances and have struggled to manufacture opportunities of their own, and that pretty much tells the story in this match. Once again, the Dolphins single-digit shots, allowing at least 20 shots once again in today's match, and that's something they will hope to correct with a conference matchup looming on Saturday up in Buffalo against D'Youville. But until then, this has been Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst. As Nick mentioned earlier, Sean Fitzpatrick on the roof operating our camera this afternoon. Our final score in today's match, Goldey-Beacom College 5 and the College of Staten Island nothing. Our next broadcast will be men's soccer 1 week from today, next Wednesday, October 13th. It will be Socktoberfest here at Dolphin Soccer Park, so if you can make it, be sure to come check out that men's soccer matchup. It will be played against Felician University, and if you recall, Felician was the first team that the College of Staten Island defeated in a Division II matchup as an NCAA Division II program. That match all the way back in 2019. So the Golden Falcons perhaps will be looking to avenge that defeat. Once again, you can catch that match here on the ECC Network next Wednesday, or you can join us here at Dolphin Soccer Park.